Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our first bout of the evening, slated for 4 rounds in the super featherweight division. Please join me in welcoming, for the very first time outside his native Mexico, Jorge Chapu Diaz.
Tony getting set for our first fight of the night, making his ring entrance, Jorge Diaz, and I know this was a fight on the card, despite being the first of the night, that you had circled as a potential for fireworks.
100%. I think it could steal the show because it's not often you see two young guys at this early stage of their careers match up. I mean, Mike Cabatuan is only 23 years old. He's only 2-0 in his third start tonight. And Jorge Valencia Diaz, 18 years old, only entering his 5th professional fight tonight. So this is and Chapo Diaz, we're seeing him right now. I saw his loss. It was a very competitive loss to a 4-0 prospect. He's still only 18. Got lots of time to grow and develop. He could give us a surprise tonight. We'll see. I think Mike Cabatuan has his hands full tonight.
How impressive is the age of this young man? 18 years old, traveling here to Canada to take on a very tough young opponent in his own right in Michael Cabatuan, but just 18 years old. How impressive is that?
Very impressive. It tells me he's,
And now please welcome to the arena, fighting out of the red corner for the very first time in Canada, the undefeated Toronto's very own Michael Cabatuan.
Now making his way to the ring, Michael Cabatuan, young man from Toronto, Ontario, just 2-0 in his boxing career, but this is a young man that comes from a fighting family.
He did. His father was a former Filipino lightweight champion. His uncles also boxed professionally. He definitely grew up with that influence, and it's in the gene pool. Actually, his father was also an IBO titleist in Australia, along with being Filipino champ. Again, he's looking to carry it into his generation and carry on the family tradition. He's got a tough opponent to do it in front of tonight. He thinks he's ready at 23 years old. It's a very good fight between two young prospects. Very rare to see a matchup like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this opening attraction of the evening, sanctioned for 4 rounds by the Office of the Ontario Athletics Commissioner in the super featherweight division. This entire event is being presented by Tyler Buxton's United Boxing Promotions, live from the sold-out Pickering Casino Resort. This opening attraction of the evening is presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey, the undisputed, undefeated king of whiskey. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the green with the blue trunks. He weighed in at an even 128 pounds flat. His record as a professional, an exceptional one. 3 victories against 1 defeat. De Querétaro, Mexico, presentando Jorge Chapu Diaz. And now introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the red corner. He wears the white with the gold trunks. He scaled an even 129 pounds. His record as a professional, a perfect one. 2 fights, 2 victories, including 1 big one by way of knockout. The former Canadian junior national champion from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, representing his Filipino roots, the son of a world champion. He is Michael Cabatuan. Your referee in charge in his very first pro bout, Mr. Ibrahim Kamal, 8-time national amateur champion, with your final instructions.
I went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Remember, keep your heads up and obey my commands at all times. That line here is good. That line here is good. Touch gloves. Best luck.
Getting things underway, a super featherweight bout. Michael Cabatuan in the white trunks, Jorge Diaz in the neon green trunks. And Tony, a 4-round fight, this super featherweight contest. Does that make a difference in the approach of either of these fighters?
Absolutely. They don't have too much time to waste time. It can't be too long of a feeling-out process. You know, two rounds go in the bank. That's already half the fight done. So they can't waste any time. They got to make sure they're nice and warm before they get in that ring so they can get to work.
Feel the buzz, feel the energy in this crowd as well. Saturday night, Pickering Casino Resort, and our first bout of the evening.
I like Cabato's body language so far. Coming in, he's working behind the double, triple jab, touching the body early, commanding center of the ring. He's not even looking at the head right now, just targeting the body right now. It's a sign of, you don't see that too often from a young 2-0 prospect already.
Cabato staying out of the range of Diaz as well, though takes a bit of a jab there to the right eye.
It's good. The reason he's landing that right, he's been looking for that last couple. Nice
huge!
double hook.
Huge from Cabato. Instructions from the corner to step on it, perhaps recognizing they have a fighter that might be wounded.
Well, right now, Cabato just seems, he's just a little sturdier on his feet, a little more solid. Could also be seeing a little bit more of the physical maturity with the age difference. He's 23 to his Diaz is 18. A little more solid on his feet, settled. Taking him back to the ropes. From there, step back and punch now. Create some room to punch and work.
Break called for by the official. Cabato staying busy, not just accepting the clinch that he had against the ropes. Make sure to get some extra shots in wherever he can.
He does nice double hook off the jab there. Very nice.
Cabato just first off, seeming to be the first one off on all these exchanges.
It's off to a good start. Good avoiding the punch there, backing out of range, using his feet. He's got a habit, though, of pulling straight back. That's fine now while his legs and reflexes are still sharp. You know, as the fight drags on, though, and fatigue settles in, I wouldn't be depending on pulling straight back like that every time.
The gas tank in a 4-round fight, though, less time to deplete, right?
That is true, but I guess I'm thinking long term, right? If he's looking to take his career to the next level, these these are habits you want to iron out now, sooner than later.
Absolutely. You're talking about a 2-0 fighter who's obviously in the very early stages of his career. You want to establish those building blocks to develop yourself into a well-rounded fighter.
It's harder to break those habits if they get ingrained to you know, the older you get.
Head movement there from Cabato, just ducking and dodging. And look at this, against the ropes, able to elude all of these punches and crack back. Very impressive there at the end of the round from Cabato. Showed the offense early in the round, showed the defense very well in those last few seconds.
To Diaz's defense, him coming on strong after those early exchanges, taking punishment, seems like the type of fighter who soaks up that punishment and just keeps hard charging, walking you down. Fight could be interesting in the 3rd and 4th rounds.
Here's a look at the end of the round and just a head movement here against the ropes. Cabato unable to crack back with an overhand right. Safe to say, give Cabato the edge in that first round, in your opinion?
Absolutely. He showed his talent. He commanded control from the outset. Took control of the center of the ring, landed the cleaner blows. Showed the better ring generalship.
Certainly was the busier fighter early. Was active, showed good range, and showed good head movement at the end of the round. So round 2 of 4 now, set to get underway. And in such a short fight as far as the round goes, 4 rounds, does perhaps knowing you're down 1, does that put some urgency in the camp of Diaz, recognizing that?
Absolutely, and Diaz also strikes me as the type that now he seems like he's warmed up now. Some guys need to feel that contact a little bit to wake up, and then they start soaking it up and gaining momentum, and I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of Diaz yet early in this fight.
Well, already looks stronger early in this second round than he did in the first. A much better start to this round.
Cabato so far has shown that he's a more talented, dynamic fighter. Definitely flashier, throws the more crowd-friendly, eye-catching punches, but he has to be consistent. He has to be consistent and not let Diaz overwhelm him with his work rate. Because I like how Diaz now is fighting off the balls of his feet. He's reacting much better when he's in a little rhythm. And he hasn't gotten hit with any of those clean shots he took early in that first round.
Perhaps the urgency is on full display here. Wow, a huge right hand there from Cabato.
Both just nearly. Oh, nice right hand by Diaz there in that exchange.
Cabato seemed to take it well, smiles, though that can often mean he felt it.
Well, things are starting to heat up.
They definitely are, and you talked about this fight being the first of the evening and having the potential to steal the show. I think we're seeing it here in this second round.
Absolutely, and we're already seeing tides of momentum. Diaz is starting to find his range.
Most definitely is. Punches and bunches as well.
He's
no one and done.
Absolutely. Fighting out of a good rhythm, working behind his jab now. Oh, nice body shot in that exchange.
Hear that
Absolutely.
Thunderous blow.
I have a strong feeling that a kid like Diaz, willing to come here and travel on the road at this early stage in his career at 18 years old, is someone who had a tough upbringing, wasn't babied in the gym. I'm sure he's exposed to a lot of hard iron sparring back home.
Well, the Mexican fighting spirit has a reputation for a reason.
And he's living up to it.
He definitely
in
is,
especially
round. After being down one. Oh, and a hard left hand there from Cabato. Saw the eyes open up just a little bit there of Jorge Diaz with things going so well from him.
But Cabato's got to be consistent, though. One punch doesn't win the round. There's too many attacks like that where they go unanswered. That's what he's got to do. More of that. Return the fire.
Final 10 seconds.
Don't be content with just making the guy miss. You gotta land.
What an entertaining round. These two young men have come to fight. We talked about the prospects wanting to put on display their skills, and they have done that early. We are off to a great start here on this boxing card.
And we got the best seat in the house, man.
We most definitely do. I told you I couldn't wait to hear the first time that leather popped, and it didn't take long. In this second round, we certainly heard a lot of leather popping as well. How do you score that one? Diaz a solid response in that second round.
I do think Diaz did enough to edge that round. Again, I thought Cabato landed some good eye-catching blows, but not enough, not consistent enough. They're only in spots. I think in that round, Diaz's work rate and volume carried the day.
2 rounds complete on a 4-round fight, so still plenty to be decided, plenty to be determined. We see into the corner of Diaz getting some last-second instructions. Cabato's off his stool, and the second round was so good. I can't wait to get this third round underway. Here we go. Cabato establishing the jab early. Nice left hook as well.
Well, Diaz has to be careful. Sometimes he's walking into those jabs because he overcommits and leans too much on that front foot when he lunges in, and that's where Cabato has his chance to nail him. Because Cabato's fighting off that back foot. So he creates that extra few inches of space where that guy has to reach in, and that's where you can walk him into some counters. Nice right hand, though, by Diaz right there.
Is fighting off the back foot perhaps something to try to control range? What would be the reason that
fighting
off the back foot?
Exactly. It's controlling range. It forces the guy to reach in a little bit because you're creating some space, more space between you and your opponent without even having to move your feet. It's just a matter of shifting your body weight back. Those were nice little double chop right hand landed there by Diaz.
Yeah, Cabato a few seconds earlier had cracked him, and he cracks right back.
No, it just landed a 3 or 4 punch combo right there, and again following up.
No shortage of action in this opening bout.
Listen, if I'm Cabato right now, I wouldn't be relying on having home court advantage. This is a nice double hook, but he's got to follow up and do more. He can't take too long in between exchanges to get back to work again. He can't fall in love with his attacks. He's got to keep it up and stay consistent. Don't give the ball back to Diaz again.
More aggressiveness, not being so one and done with those solid connections.
100%.
Following up and taking advantage of perhaps an opponent who's just taken a heavy strike. Diaz is throwing with intention as well, but out of the clinch comes Cabato with a few solid shots as well. Just missed with that right.
Well, my gut told me that this could be a great opener to the show that could get everyone's attention. And so far, they're living up to the bill.
Most definitely is. Everything seems to be thrown with bad intentions. No exchanges seem like they're just dipping their gloves in the water, so to say.
Well, you know, when you're 23 and 18, you can shake off these punches.
Fearlessness, perhaps, as well.
Fearlessness.
Young in your career.
Absolutely. Ignorance is bliss.
This is it. And it makes for a great show for all of us.
Absolutely.
Cabato now trying to keep that head out of range. Diaz looking to find a home, but the head movement again of Cabato eludes the punches. Nice body shot there from Diaz.
Cabato has landed the cleaner blows this round. It just took a right hand right there. This is where boxing gets so subjective, because I'm seeing one guy in Diaz who's more consistent and throwing more punches, dictating the pace. But then Cabato comes and lands flashy combos like that it ruins, you know, whatever work that Diaz was working so hard at accomplishing.
Well, perhaps these boxers both recognizing the closeness of the round, because the clap of the 10 seconds certainly sent them both into a frenzy, throwing at each other. That was an action-packed round as well. It's been a good one through 3. Still one more round to go. Tough round to score.
That's so far the toughest round to score for me on my scorecard. I'm gonna lean towards Cabato on that one. I think that's a case of quality over quantity.
There's a look at some of the combinations put together by Diaz, and you had referenced it during the round not being just one and done and getting out of range from Cabato. Diaz was perhaps the better fighter as far as putting those combinations together in round number 3.
That's right.
One round to go. This fight very much still up in the air.
Only one round to go. You know, this type of fight, I wish we had more rounds.
Touch of gloves here before we get underway in this final round, and a fantastic fight to get us started here at Pickering Casino Resort. United Boxing Promotions. We put a stellar card here together, and this first fight, perhaps an indication of things to come. Lots to be determined here in this 4th and final round. Cabato cracks with the right hand.
Oh, he's looking for it again. No, but don't look for the same thing. Don't show your hand. Set it up. Give him something else to look at. Give him the left hand. Go to the body. Double out. Give him some feints. Then bring that right hand again. One thing I like about Diaz, though, even if he does come up short tonight and doesn't walk away with a W, the instinct, he has great instincts. Even when he gets hit, he always tries to come back. It leaves an impression on the judge that he never gives up control. He never gives up control. He's always coming forward because he's always trying to return. Even if he gets hit, something's coming back all the time.
Diaz is taking the center of the ring here in this
He's always in
third
position
round as well.
Exactly. He's always in position to throw back.
Right hand, perhaps the left hand up just in time from Cabato to take most of the force of that blow, and he goes to the body.
And you know, this is what Cabato, he was doing it in the first round early to the body and he got away from it, but he's trying it again. He should have been dedicating to the body early. Sometimes with a pressure fighter like Diaz, who comes forward, constant body punches sometimes, slows down a pressure fighter. Oh, Cabato's really finding his range now.
That was a stiff jab, snapped the head back at Diaz, drew a big reaction from the crowd as well as the sweat flies.
But it all started with the body. Once he started targeting the body again, then bringing his attack upstairs, good things started happening.
Well, and that's the importance of mixing things up, right? Like you said, these boxers are obviously quick to learn what you're going to. You want to mix things up and give them different looks.
And a guy like Diaz, it saps his energy. Typically a guy like Diaz, who's one to give one to take one, he's got a good chin and he knows that. May not take it as well to the body. That'll slow him down and take away his legs.
Into the final minute here, the 4th and final round. Great fight to get things started here in Pickering. Oh,
nice.
Huge right hand followed up with a left as well by Cabato.
Took his head out to slip. Oh,
Left
shook him
puts
with
him
that
against
hook.
the rope.
Oh my God.
Right, left. Cabato now, does he have Diaz wounded? Throws it right in another left.
He found a spot there. Now 1, 2, 3, takes his head out on that right hand and he turns over that hook.
A little wobbly on the legs is Diaz. Can Cabato close the show here? Body head.
For his body every time he starts at the body.
Listen
Good
for the
things
clap.
happen.
The final 10 seconds. Does this send Cabato in for the kill? Strong finish in the 4th round here from Cabato. What a fight to get this party started.
Great early fight for both guys. Cabato really, he made an adjustment, adapted to the work rate of Diaz and assumed control back again of the fight, finishing strong. But Diaz, though, I don't think it's the last we're going to hear of him. He's a tough kid. He can learn from this, and if he goes back home and surrounds himself with good people, a good support team, and the right management, I still think he's young enough to come back and make some noise in the sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, after an entertaining 4 rounds, we will go to the judges' scorecards. But first off, let's have a round of applause for both Michael Cabato and Jorge Diaz. Judge Jasper Kujavsky scores the bout 40-36, Cabato. Judge Deborah Wong scores the bout 38-38. And Judge Alan Davis scores the bout 38-38. We have a majority draw in our opening bout of the evening.
Corner
There you
of
have
Michael
it.
Cabato, a draw, a majority draw. In
One
our
more time,
opening
let's have a
bout.
nice round of applause for Michael Cabato and
I mean, we
Jorge
can't take
Diaz.
anything away from these fighters. I know sometimes a draw can leave a bit of a sour taste. An unbelievable opening bout. But I think everybody expected it, perhaps 3 rounds to 1 for Cabato. Your thoughts on that scorecard?
I personally had it 3 rounds to 1, but I'm telling you, I'm not going to argue a draw because I said this fight is subjective. There was a swing round in there on my scorecard where I wasn't sure, and I leaned towards Cabato, but it depends what you like. Every judge has their preferences. You know, some guys are going to favor the cleaner punching by Cabato. Others are going to favor the volume and work rate and who's carrying the pace and dictating the flow of the bout, and that was Diaz, and that's what we got tonight.
Well, regardless of the result, a spectacular fight to get things started. I mean, we're only 1 fight in. The viewers at home, the fans in this building already getting their worth out of this fight card.
And the good news is that they can always run it back, and we can get to call it again, and
that
maybe
would be
this
a fight
time.
I would sign up to see tomorrow.
And sometimes an evenly matched bout like this on paper, let's make it a 6-rounder next time, so we can have a more definitive ending.